pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody. We got a roll call.
Nystrom?
Here.
Lipnicki? Here. Galler?
Here.
Lemke? Here. Walton?
Here. Next on our agenda is approval of last month's minutes. Is there a motion to make
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from March 22nd of 2026.
A second it.
okay? Favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. No changes as far as I know. I didn't see. Do we need any? Any public comment not related to the items on the agenda? Hearing none, we'll continue on to the public hearing. And just a couple of ground rules, since we got a lot of people here. If you have anything to say, come up to the podium, state your name, address, and 5 minutes. It's going to be a 5-minute limitation, so we can get through those. And also, anybody has phones, you don't have to turn them off, but mute your phones. That would be very good if you haven't done that. So moving on to the public hearing, we have 4 of them here. The first one is 701 Maple Street. John and Julie Miller, a non-use variance request to decrease the number of required parking spaces. So, Michelle.
The applicant is seeking to use the building for an after-school child care center as well as living quarters in the upstairs unit. The zoning ordinance would require the applicant to have 1 parking space per 3 students plus a parking space for each employee. The ordinance also requires 1 parking space per bedroom for residential uses. The applicant is requesting to decrease the number of parking spaces required. The building consists of 1 commercial space on the ground floor and 2 apartment units upstairs. The 2 apartment units had previously been used as rentals. The ground floor was previously used as a marijuana provisioning facility. The total square footage of the structure's footprint is 2,407 square feet. The parking lot is located to the north of the building and is roughly 4,800 square feet. The applicant is requesting to lower the total number of parking spaces needed to operate, detailed under 5.2:1. This request would lower the residential parking requirements from 6 spaces to 2 spaces and the child care parking ratio from 1 parking space per 3.28 children, or per child instead of the 3. Staff provided you an analysis of our findings and a recommendation of approval of the variance. The parking requirement seems substantial for a use that doesn't have significant parking needs when daytime street parking is also an option. The parking lot should be sufficient for the residential units overnight, which is where we generally run into issues with parking because of our no parking overnight in the winter time.
Okay.
Questions for her? Okay, next we have the opportunity for the applicant to make a presentation. Is the applicant here? Name and where you are from?
My name is John Miller. This is my wife, Julie Miller. Most recently we're from Oklahoma. We actually grew up here in Michigan. She grew up in Howard City, and I was from the other side of the state. But for the last 15 years, we've successfully operated a child care facility out of our home in Sand Springs, Oklahoma. Due to some oddities of life, we're headed back this direction. We're selling our home, in a flood buyout program of all things. And so that is all transpiring on the 30th, and we are under land contract for the building at 701 Maple here to close on the 4th of May. Provided we can get the variance and, have a few other things line up, we are really hoping to be able to have both before and after school care there at the building. But really it's the after school care that would be the most important part of the business plan. Of course, in this particular case, we had our daughter at Big Rapids Hospital, and our hearts are near and dear to the area. And when we were looking at places to come back to, this area made so much sense because you folks just don't have access to anything that we would provide. There just aren't after-school cares, facilities in the area. And if our area down south was is anything to go by, it's just a dramatic need for communities of this size. Do you have anything you want to say, dear? Do you folks have any questions for us?
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Sorry. So who came up with the idea of the 36 children then? Was that through state mandated, or is that?
Excellent question. So, a little bit of inside baseball for childcare is that you don't actually sell childcare for the most part. You sell slots in childcare. So the pinch point, the regulating factor that the government regulates is the number of a given age group that an individual or group of individuals can watch, and then there's a bunch of other regulations go along with that. For instance, if you have a child care facility with infants under 1, you can only have one. You have to have one caregiver for 4 children. So the 36 comes from, if we're having school-age children, the 2 of us could have 36 children without additional staffing requirements. We're allowed 1 caregiver per 18 students.
And then you are under the Michigan agency then for ADA requirements and safety requirements and.
Yeah, so we've already started working with Laura, and they've already gone out, looked at the building, done all that. So now the next step is after we close, we do the Bureau of Fire Services and all that. But the building itself, Laura has said would work.
Okay, so you'll be downstairs and upstairs, or all downstairs,
So we will just be downstairs for childcare, but the apartments upstairs we want to live in one, and then our daughter would live in the other, because we have adult children.
And that's basically the 2 employees.
Right.
And
Well, we'd be the only employees, so we also wouldn't need employee
Gotcha.
parking
gotcha.
because
Okay.
we also live there.
Yeah. So when you have 13 spots, if I understand right,
Yes.
you don't need 13 spots. You can get by with 11,
Right.
and that's the requirement of where you can do the 18 to 1,
Right.
or now 36 to 2. Do the math.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So the variance we're requesting, at least my understanding of the math, is pretty small. And again, no one's going to show up at our building and want to be there for a half hour or an hour or something. You show up for 5 minutes and you drop your kid off, and then you.
Except for the crying kid that doesn't want to.
Well, yeah, some of that, but school age, there's less of that.
And the same way with that night, they're going to be.
Yes.
They're not going to be there. No overnight parking or that,
Right.
except for
Right.
you guys, obviously.
Right.
Yes, that's
And we plan to work with Big Rapids to do busing and different things like that. So part of the year won't be as big of a deal. Now during summer, obviously parents will do all the transporting and things. So during the summer, we'll have 36 kids during the day as well, all day, not just before or after school.
Okay. So that, not only that's your goal, that's the maximum.
That would be the maximum.
That'd be our maximum.
And the important thing is to get licensed for that number, because another little bit of inside baseball for childcare is that children are coming in and aging out all the time.
Yep.
So you want to be able to fill up to your maximum slots in recognition that at any given point, some number of children will drop out of enrollment for aging out, or moving on to a different program, or moving out of the area or something like that. So that then you can then hit a lower point of enrollment and, you know, then fill back up with children eventually. And so the maximum number of slots is
And
kind
that's
of,
what you guys have to deal with anyway. So.
yeah, right. But it would be important that we achieve the variance, not even necessarily just for the ability to have 36 kids all the time, but in order to peak at 36 and then be able to survive while we're, you know, if we do hit a lower point, you know.
And there's a need for this type of.
Well,
type
so
of
far
program.
Big Rapids doesn't have a strictly school-age childcare.
After school they do.
They have after school, but they don't have like summer and all those type things.
Correct.
And that's where we would come in and fill that need.
Okay.
Is your entrance gonna be off the front or the back?
It would be
to-
on the back in the parking lot
Okay.
because there's a handicap ramp right there.
Correct, cause I wasn't sure if you're gonna be off of M20 right there, if maybe like so busy
No.
with little kids and
No,
The
and
safety
that
aspect of that.
doesn't have a
with the
wide
steps and stuff and everything.
Right, exactly. So
All
they
right.
would park in the parking lot and
Okay.
then walk right in.
All right.
So there's a back entrance then, okay.
Yeah, very good. You might get more questions that affect finding, so,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Is there any opportunity, there's an opportunity for those in favor to speak in favor of this. Hearing none, we will move on. An opportunity for those in opposition to this. Hearing none. Oh, there is, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yep,
I think that's Eric's brother.
My name's John Holsworth. I wasn't here for this issue, but as I'm hearing this coming about, that's the old Harry's property at the end of right there on M20 at Maple. Am I correct in the property?
701,
701.
it's across from the Amoco gas station.
Right, it's next to the pot shop, right?
It is the pot shop.
Well, it used to be the
Yeah,
pot shop.
it
Was the pot
It
shop.
was the
Right.
pot shop, yeah.
Oh, that's the old Salvation Army one.
I don't know the
Okay,
whole.
I
I've
don't know
owned
that
pro-
either.
I'm here for another issue, so I didn't even look at this and know about this. So I've owned property in that neighborhood since 1979, so I know the neighborhood a little bit.
so are you here for an opposition of this, or?
Well, just as a clarification, because people run through there, that parking becomes where people flow through there all the time in that parking area and stuff. So I'm just trying to give you a background. I don't have either way. I know that you have for or against and stuff like that. I'm just trying to give you a little clarification of, I am familiar with that neighborhood quite a bit, and I know how the traffic flows and, all that stuff. So that would just be, I'm just concerned with the safety.
Well, again, when we get to the fact finding, we'll,
Okay,
maybe
no,
bring
no.
that up, and you guys might wanna get to know each other, so.
Yeah, I
you
just,
think so?
I just, wanted to, I don't live in the neighborhood no more and stuff
Okay.
like that. I still own property in there.
Okay.
But I just, as you're looking at this and I didn't have a chance to get some of the
Gotcha.
information that was there,
Okay.
with the 18 to 1. That sounds like that, because I know some daycare providers, and that sounds a little bit, without checking with
I believe that's a
but-
state.
Yeah, that would be a state, issue, but
Yeah,
still at the
yeah.
same time. I just was trying to clarify, I just wanna, so you guys have
All
a
right.
better view. I don't have, either, but I just wanna let you know, what's
Gotcha.
going. Thank you.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else in opposition? Is there any written materials received? One way or the other?
Staff didn't receive any written materials or phone calls on this application.
Okay. Okay. So next on there could be a rebuttal by applicant to opposition. I mean, he wasn't really opposing, he just wanted to give you some information on traffic control. I'm assuming you have any answer to that or any, not yet?
That's accounted for. We didn't take up any of that space for the, for any parking spots or anything.
Yeah.
We would expect that to take place.
Okay, very good. Public hearing part is closed, and we now go into fact finding. To me, it's kind of with a couple questions. I mean, the one question I have is,
Was zone C3,
what's that?
it's zone C3.
Yeah, zone 3-3.
Yeah.
It was C3.
C3, yep.
Yeah. But I'm going, they just two down the road, and it'd have to be a little bit different. They're only gonna be 2 employees, so the 18-to-1 and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we can't count
And
on.
we can't care.
That's why
we
I
don't
asked
care
how
about
they
the
came up
future.
with 36, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for 2.
I just wanna make sure it was state, someone just didn't
That kind
actually
of,
come up with that, I wanna make sure that it was, someone
Well-
told them that.
yeah, when they only need 2 parking spots, cause it's just the 2 of them, 2 cars, that kind of stuff, we need some more help.
And then it sounds like they're gonna have their daughter live out there, I don't know if they need a parking spot
Yeah.
either for that apartment.
Yeah.
You know,
We need one for each apartment, right?
we need one for
And
each
that's
bed.
2,
apartment.
and
Yeah.
that's 2 spaces,
It'd be 3 if her daughter
Well,
drives.
unless they drive together.
Hi.
You can answer the question, go ahead.
Our zoning ordinance for residential use
Yeah.
requires 1 parking space per bedroom.
Bedroom, that's what I thought.
And
Right, that'd be 3.
That's 2, in
well,
this
there's,
case.
No, you don't know how many bedrooms.
there's more than 1 bedroom in
There's more
each
than one
apartment.
bedroom?
There's-
Okay,
3,
I believe so.
Okay.
So
3 in each
that's
one.
where the variance comes into play, is because our parking standards are set up to be like, it's meant to
One
do
adult per
for
bedroom.
most rentals
Right.
in our area. Every person in a bedroom has their own vehicle.
gotcha.
And so it creates parking issues in some of our residential areas where their parking spaces aren't big enough, or their parking lots aren't big enough because we have such old, large houses there with many bedrooms.
Yep.
This is a little bit of a unique situation because it's a mixed use
Yep,
with a commercial and a residential. I think that's where the parking for the residential comes into, the requirement for the parking for residential comes into play, is because you have to, when you do parking, you have to do like maximum capacity for the whole building. But with mixed uses, your maximum capacity is different at different times of the day, so that's where variances come into play sometimes with parking.
I would think that the 3 bedrooms would be more of a overnight, at least hold steady. Yeah, I would assume in that particular case with the bedroom, with the apartments upstairs. So it would be at least 6, that's why they wanna decrease and have that mixed use downstairs, is that variable. So that's what they were saying, it was 2 for them, and at least 1, I didn't know the other person was gonna be in the apartment, it sounded like in this paperwork. That's why I asked the question about the upstairs apartment, because it sounded like they were using the apartment as part of their daycare area, is how I read this.
are they?
So that's why I was just
I don't
clarifying.
think they are.
Yeah, they're not now.
One for their daughter.
Yeah, 1 for their daughter, so that's
But there's still 3 bedrooms.
in each of the units, yes.
Yeah.
So that's 6. So that's where that's why they're here to ask it to decrease, cause it would only be 21. They're kinda sounding like in here, but if you read one of the denial part of it on there, it must be 21.
Yeah.
So then wouldn't be able to get the agency, because there's minimum on the agencies at
18-to-1,
36.
36, yeah.
That a minimum daycare at that point is 36, when I was looking into it.
Mhm.
So they wouldn't be able to have necessarily a daycare there. From what I
Given
understand.
given
Given
without
the
the
It's to
variance.
get the 18 kids so
get-
they can be financially viable, cause
Correct.
with less children, it's not
Right.
financially viable.
Right,
That's the gist of it.
right.
So my question is, let's say the business doesn't work. Does the variance stay there forever? What if they decide,
They wanna move on, anything
Well,
can happen,
rent
yes,
it.
future.
so wouldn't that variance go with the next?
Variances run with the property as long as, for like dimensional variances run with the property, but if they're changing the use in the building, that variance is specific for childcare and
Okay.
apartments.
Yeah, so
So
it
if
could change
it's,
to something
if it
else.
changes to like a retail, back to retail, or it changes to something else, they have different parking requirements.
Okay, and what if they decide to rent one of the apartments?
I guess that would be, I mean, they still have to figure, you can't do it by, based on ownership. Like, you can't,
And they would have to come for another situation for that, or not really?
no, not if they choose to rent the apartments, but they also have the street parking isn't allowed overnight
Right,
Yeah,
in the winter time, so.
right,
But they have their 3 spots anyway, so they,
seems like that'd be good.
but if they rent it to somebody, 2 people, well,
Speak louder.
oh, if they rent it to 2 people.
That's
I just
six.
wondered,
That would be 6 parking spots.
would that change, would that go back then to,
I mean, we can always put that a stipulation in. If everything, if we could, we can write that in.
Yeah, you can write it as a,
We can write that as a condition.
yeah, right.
We've done that before for other
Yeah,
things
yeah.
along our path.
is it working? Okay, I can't tell.
I don't know if you're planning on renting to other people, I don't know if that was in the mix, but sort of question.
I'm sorry, what?
I don't know if you were planning on renting, or if that's in the future or anything like that.
So we only own 1 car, so we only need 1 spot, for our apartment. And then my daughter owns 1 car, which is why we needed the 2 spaces. And so then,
They're asking about renting in the future. I mean, you know,
Anything's possible, right?
I mean, it's possible, but our daycare hours are 6 to 6, and so they're not there overnight either.
Right. Okay.
I guess I just
And
wanted, I would,
and if you rent, you know, you have daycare going on all day, someone went to rent a space up there,
well, you don't know, I mean, if there's, you never know why a person might be running though, I mean.
yeah,
The daycare thing isn't, it is looking for,
yeah,
kind of cover both things.
yeah.
Currently, kind of like a half future, if something didn't work out for the next owner coming in, I would say at least be safe for those 3 bedrooms. Our current, and it being our current zoning is, 3 bedrooms and 3 parking spots. I wanna assure that that doesn't change, in my opinion, at some point.
Your concern is more of the apartments. So you,
Cause I think, anything can happen with the downstairs is being
So that,
commercially,
that's something
can
else.
always change.
Yeah, but if it changes from a
Yeah.
daycare, it loses its variance.
it doesn't, yeah, if it changes, so the
Variance
variance,
is only for a daycare.
the variance is for parking for a daycare.
I mean, if this building stays a
okay.
daycare, it just keeps going to owner, but if they turn it into something else, they lose the variance.
Yeah, cause,
Right.
And the parking goes back to the
Yep.
3.
well, the
Per-
parking would go back to whatever the
Okay.
new use
Alright,
was,
I just
because
wanna make
all
sure
of our
that's-
commercial uses have,
Yeah.
like, some are based on square footage, some are
Right.
based on employees, some are
Right.
based on
Yeah,
tables, so,
right, I just wanna make sure,
yeah, no, that would be reanalyzed.
yeah.
And they're asking from 6 spaces to 2 spaces rather than 3 spaces anyway.
That's why the wording was, I just wanna make sure the wording, if they do specifically say that, only 2 parking, that's why I'm concerned that way,
Well, that can be a condition.
yeah. Cause I mean, it
Anything
can-
going on?
yeah, that's my concern,
Okay,
or my discussion, I guess.
so it'd be written in as a condition that can only be 2
However, yeah, I just wanna make sure, it's just, we talk about it.
Mhm.
Do you have anything, Wendy?
Well, any other discussion on this kind of stuff? Well, going into the analysis of it, see if we can get through these 4. The ordinance restrictions unreasonably prevent the owner from using the property for a permitted purpose. 4, the requirement for parking for total combined use of this property, with the size of the structure and number of bedrooms, it would be difficult, but 2 different uses in the building. Doesn't make sense. But again, ordinance regulations could be followed, but would require fewer children. So whether they wanna do it, if they wanna go by state, they gotta get that changed so they can have 18 to 2, but if they can't change get the variance changed, then they probably can't do that, then they don't get it.
Right. Cause they would only be allowed 21 children, the way
Right.
it sits right now.
Right. But there's only gonna be 2 of them there, or 2 spots for vehicles. Doesn't sound like, we don't know in the future. That's-
Right.
Can you get through that? I kinda can.
Yeah.
Number 2, the variance would do substantial justice to the applicant and possibly other property owners of the district, and unless the relaxation of regulations that the requested would not provide substantial relief to the property owner. So 4, the variance would allow the building to be used for multiple purposes while not likely having a large impact on neighboring properties, besides the possibility of parking along the road sometimes, and I think that sometimes is in the morning.
It's like
And
that
at
side
night,
street,
but
whatever that side
not-
street that is.
It's like
Yeah.
dropping kids off at school. You know,
Yeah.
you're there,
Right,
you know. There's not gonna be any overnight.
correct.
Against, compromise between a full variance of the ordinance rules could be possible. The terms of the compromise would be determined by the board. Again, I don't think there's gonna be a problem during the day per se. I don't think you're gonna line up 36 cars
All at one time,
all at one time.
yeah.
I can get through that one.
That's
Anybody
pretty
else get
reasonable.
through that?
Yeah.
Number 3, the plight of the property owner is due to the unique circumstance of the property and not a general condition of the neighborhood. 4, the structure was likely built prior to the requirement of parking space per bedroom. Probably true, it's an old side of the neighborhood. The structure is also in a commercial district, but the lot size is more similar to residential lots in the neighborhood. That was 4 against. Many of the lots in the neighborhood are smaller, but typically only house one use instead of a mix of uses. Kinda seemed this was kinda put there and other houses eventually built around, or it could have been the other way around, I'm not sure, but I'm not sure that's an issue for me.
Yeah, that is mixed use in the whole area, I think mixed use, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at the parking, I mean, there's plenty of parking even for 11 spaces when I was looking at it.
Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
Number 4, the alleged practical difficulty has not been created by any person presently having an interest in the property. They're the only ones that seem to be having an interest in the property. 4, the applicant is not responsible for the creation or the size of zoning requirements. The use requested did not have a significant need for parking except for about an hour of the day. Both sides, probably 30 minutes. Probably not more than that. Which street parking is available to accommodate even in the wintertime,
Yeah, during those hours.
during those hours. The applicant is aware of the current zoning rules on the property. That was against. That's why they're coming here.
right?
Any other question? We talked a bit about people walking around, going around and doing all, you know, with the other gentleman here, you know. Seeing there's a lot of traffic. You moved from there how long ago?
I got divorced in '84, so, but I maintain the,
You maintain property there.
I have property in that neighborhood. I'm looking at when you add all the different scenarios there. Have you ever been, in that neighborhood at like 3 o'clock when Eastwood's letting out? You've got it coming all the way back to the first block of, Third Avenue. Yeah, Third Avenue there.
It's definitely busy through there.
So, I mean, it's,
Everybody's letting
you
out.
have so much
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm not trying, I'm just saying, there's,
That's just what you've noticed and what you.
well, yeah, I
perceive
mean,
as what it is.
it's just with, you see with all these going on, you know, plus I've been communicating with some daycare providers, and 18 doesn't sound like, you know, there's, you know,
Okay.
that's a state issue, I
Yeah,
understand,
yeah,
but,
yeah.
you know, it just, with, you have that, you know, I don't know if they're aware of the homeless encampment underneath the bridge right there. That has an impact on that neighborhood. You know, there's a lot of things going on.
And I'm supposed with the 11 parking spots that they'll still have, they're gonna go out, drive in, you know, pick their kids up, so.
Well, I think too, even if they find that it is overwhelming, then they do wanna hire a part-time person, and they're still parking for that person too.
Yeah, right.
You know, and, you know, a couple days a week or whatever they might find they need, so there's still availability for an extra employee.
Yeah,
Just during the daytime, not overnight, I'm just talking during the day, not overnight.
for,
You know, for the daycare center.
okay.
If they did hire.
If they needed, I mean, if they needed
Yeah,
it,
outside of dropping off and picking up.
outside of, yeah,
Parking
Right.
lot
outside
usually
dropping off,
empty.
You
yeah,
can cut through right now,
yeah.
cause I did cut through, but you could just put something to block that.
So what are you saying? They need more than two?
Well, I mean, I just to go back to the three bedrooms and the one apartment they're occupying, it's 3 bedrooms.
Yeah,
So that's 3 spots.
Yeah.
In my opinion, in what our section allows us to do. To ensure there's enough parking for, overnight,
okay.
Hopefully you can read it.
according to the section. 3 bedrooms, currently,
Yeah, I just know that,
Yeah.
like, it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
If they don't
Yeah.
get the 2, they can't have 18, and it's
Right.
not financially viable.
right,
And overnight parking, there's no way you're gonna be there for the daycare, so the parking lot's always gonna be empty at night. I don't think they really
Right.
need it for drop off and pickup, they just need the variance to meet the
Right.
legal requirements for the state to have the 18 and 18. It's not really, because they
Isn't-
actually need the space.
Isn't that something we don't have to worry about, even if we gave 2, a variance to have 2 parking spots, and they find that they're overwhelmed, they're gonna have to deal with that.
You're not gonna give them a separate variance for
Right.
residential use and a
Right.
separate variance
Right.
for commercial use.
Right.
You're,
there's one each one.
that's not how it would work.
Right.
It would either be, yes, you're getting a variance for parking numbers, or no, you're not.
Right, exactly. So, we have 3, we can approve it without any conditions. We can approve it with conditions, or we can deny it. So if we're approving it with conditions, what are you looking at?
I don't have any.
I don't have any either.
No
Well, I
conditions?
guess, yeah, I guess I can, they'll have to deal with that then.
Okay, so we're gonna,
Yeah.
so let's make a motion.
Make a motion to approve it with no conditions.
I second.
So the motion is I move the use variance application for 701 Maple Street be approved to decrease the number of required parking spaces. The application meets the standard in section 13.5 and 13.7 of the zoning ordinance. That's the motion. And there was a second.
By Wendy.
Roll call?
Nystrom,
Yes.
Nikki,
Yes.
Galler,
Yes.
Lemke,
Yes.
Walton.
Yes. Motion passed. Those that, if you wanna leave, you can leave or you can stay. I'm not telling you can't stay. But if you do leave, make sure you go all the way outside because this thing picks up sound out in the foyer, so. All right. Moving on to, what?
Is there a way to increase any volume at all?
You just have to speak louder, I can't.
We just have to yell more, I'm gonna speak louder more, sorry.
Closer to it.
I'm grateful if you can, thank you.
Okay. All right. So for the public hearing, number 2 or B is 203 South Third. Jason excuse me if I mispronounce it, Jerky or Jerk. Non-use variance request to decrease the side setback requirement and acreage requirement for an adult foster care facility. So, Michelle.
The applicant is seeking to vary from the two requirements for the property at 203 South Third Street. The zoning ordinance required a special use for this application. The applicant was before the planning commission and got a recommendation of approval to the city commission on the meeting last Wednesday. We held off from going to the city commission for their final approval for special use until we had the zoning board of appeals meeting. So depending on the outcome of tonight, it would then go for final review of the special use request to the city commission at their May 11th meeting. So that's just kind of a timeline for this because it's a little bit of a strange one compared to our normal, just this is a ZBA request. The property is zoned C3 and located on along State Road M20. The property dimensions is currently sit 215 by 120 feet and is roughly 0.56 acres in area. There is another property that sits directly behind the alleyway that is it's another piece of property, but it's part of this property and under same ownership. And that property is also included in this variance request. The property is surrounded by a mix of residential and commercial uses, and directly adjacent uses are residential. A map has been provided to show the surrounding land uses of the property, and there was also a survey provided by the applicant to show you where the building sits on the property and as well as that piece of property on the other side of the acreage. You have my analysis of the application. Let me get to and then staff recommendation, given the closeness of the structure on the property, any of relaxation of the ordinance would require a total relaxation. It is staff's opinion that in order to do justice to the neighboring residents, the variance should be denied or be approved with the condition of requiring substantial fencing on the property lines that are directly next to residential structures to mitigate disturbances from the facility. I know currently there's fences in place on the property, but I don't believe they run the whole length of the property that abut the residential structures, so that those are the property lines that staff had concerns over.
Is there a height recommended for fences?
Our ordinance only allows for 6-foot fences unless you're in the industrial district.
Okay. And it doesn't matter what kind, it could be chain link or it could be something that you can't see through.
We have kinds we don't allow in our ordinance, but we don't have requirements of what we do allow for side property lines. We do have requirements, like if you're putting a fence up along the road so that you can't, block the vision for pulling out and things like that. And those are restricted to 4 feet in residential areas. In commercial areas, our fencing is more utilized and described in our ordinance for enclosures of storage of goods.
Gotcha.
And I'm guessing the recommendation is for like a solid fence for blocking visual and sound?
Yes.
And is that on both sides, it's a recommendation?
Yes, because there's residential uses on both sides.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. Is that other question, Michelle? Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Okay, opportunity for the applicant to make a presentation. Is the applicant, there you go. All right.
Excuse me, please. Thank you. Well, thank you for the opportunity to speak. Can you hear me without the microphone?
We're good, as long as you're there, you're good.
Better now. All right, good, good. So, I really don't know what to say from a presentation perspective. Other than we're excited for the opportunity.
Can you state your name, please? And who
Oh
you are?
yes,
I'm sorry.
I'll make that clarification. It's actually Yerke. It comes with a German J on it, so it sounds like a Y.
How do you pronounce last name?
Yerke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yerke.
Common mistake. No offense taken whatsoever. It
Okay.
happens to me every day. So, anyway, we're excited for the use of the property. We're looking at it's going to be a little bit of a construction project, interior, right? But we think we can provide up to 20 to 22 rooms for individuals in need. So right now, I think, don't quote me on this number, Brandy may be able to quote me, but we think there's a statewide need of over 2,000 people on the waiting list for adult foster care right now. And that does not include private pay. That's just what's on the state list, the state funded list. So we know that we can really provide a need both for the state and the county and the community. So we've got professional staffing for management. For 20 residents, we need 2 staff per shift. So we're looking at probably 14 employees overall to staff that, not including management and shift supervisors. So
Is it two staff per 6 residents?
it's 1 staff per 12, and then anything above 12, it's 2 staff up to 22. But I think for this particular use, we can, with modifications and some construction, we need to put in a new kitchen, we need to put in a commissary, we need to put in, expand the bathrooms to include showers. We think we can pretty readily get in 20 residents pretty quick. Now that's also, I want to make this clarification too, we're also under LAURA from a regulation perspective. And we haven't gone to LAURA yet. We've specifically to tour this building because we wanted to see how this meeting went first. Because we've got some other projects working. So if we can get this variance, then we'll bring LAURA in. But we know we can meet those requirements based off of experience that we've had in the past.
Now, do those 2 adult people who kind of oversee that, do they stay on staff 24/7 or do they leave?
I'm sorry,
Do the 2 staff people that stay with the adult people, do they leave or do they stay all night long with them?
24/7,
Okay.
365. So we'll shift it. Probably on 12-hour shifts. It depends on who we have for staff and what schedules work. But 2 people in the building supervising at all times. And in a group home facility like this, staff is not allowed to sleep. So they're up, they're working, they're attentive to any needs.
That's changed a lot.
So whoever you hire, it could
He's
be,
parking.
you vary, they're not there all the time. You could have other people come in and
Absolutely.
shift change.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Parking. allowed.
Oh, no, I just mean 2 people per.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I wish I had a fancier presentation for you, but I'm super open to conversation and additional questions if you have them.
So you're gonna remodel the inside of it, or are you adding on to the building, or are you?
No expansion of the building. In order to meet the bedroom requirements, there's a couple of rooms that are existing that are gonna need some minor remodeling. And I think we counted 4 external windows left to be added.
So the current windows right now open or close? I remember they.
They open.
Okay.
Although it might be a
I don't know,
mix.
like-
There might be a couple that
Yeah,
were,
they're fixed.
there's like, we used to be an old server room. I think
Yeah.
those are fixed.
I know they talk about acreage.
Yeah.
Yeah, just before you get into that question, you're not asking about rooms or anything like that, you're asking
Yeah.
about space right
Yeah.
now, in terms of the outside area.
Correct. I think
Yeah.
Michelle can clarify, I don't know all of the ordinances, but there was a 1 acre requirement for
Yeah, that's what
a group foster care facility.
Right.
And then there was the setback requirement of 50 feet. And I'm actually have a little bit of confusion. Originally I thought it was 50 feet from the side of the building to the property line, which is pretty close. Then I had actually thought it was maybe 50 feet from the side of our building to the next adjacent structure, which we would meet that requirement, but not the property line requirement.
It's from the property line, and my knowledge of ordinances is that restriction is also required in residential districts for adult foster care. And so I think the buffer was put in, that large of a buffer was to put in to help protect single-family homes from some of the noise. I mean, these
Yeah, I
these
remember that.
places don't have a lot of issues. They don't have a lot of issues that most people think they do, but they do have ambulance visits, and they can be any time of the day.
Yep.
And so I think there was trying to be some buffer in the prime residential district that maybe not be as important as commercial
And
districts.
that
'cause-
structure used to be the Secretary of State, I believe.
Did it really?
Yeah.
That's
What
interesting.
is the distance from the?
From the property line to the existing building?
There's a survey. in your
I do have an
packet.
Alta survey, yeah, we should have provided it within the packet. Which, by the way, the property line separation from the building should be on the Alta, it should be called out on the Alta. And, the distance between the nearest home and our building, which I understand now is not applicable, is 60 feet. I looked it up on the satellite, it's not in the Alta, but it's 60 feet based off
So
of the
that
satellite image.
portion, that's okay, it sounds like.
No, we don't have a requirement for setback from building to building. Ours is from the property line, and they're like a foot.
Okay.
Oh,
Like a foot.
Yeah, I can walk it, my shoulders might rub, but.
Gotcha, I understand that part. Any other questions for them? Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, appreciate it.
You may ask more later.
Absolutely, I'm right over here.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, please.
See where I'm going here. Opportunity for those in favor to speak about this venture.
Can I speak? I'm in favor.
You can rebut at some point. Well, hearing none in favor, opportunity for those in opposition to speak. I'm not hearing any of that either. Any written materials received?
Staff did receive a phone call from a neighboring commercial property, not direct neighboring, but in the vicinity, and that person didn't have any concerns. They were more calling for the planning commission, but
Yeah, okay, all right. Now you could rebut, but there's nothing to rebut, so. This public hearing part is closed, and now we're going to fact finding.
Michelle, did the planning commission have any issues with anything about the acreage of it?
they didn't, they felt more comfortable with having acreage in the back that may allow for some outdoor activity that this property, like the front portion, doesn't necessarily
Like a
have.
sitting area or like a picnic area or something, or
Right.
for them to have exercise or whatever.
Yes, so that made, I think, the plan commission, there was some conversation about like outdoor activity is limited.
Cause it also meant, yeah, it's right there, it's close to the
And being
road.
close to M20 and the busyness of it,
Cause I know the acreage is, they're one of their main concerns about this,
yeah.
getting
That was most of the planning commission's concern, was like the safety of the residents because of how close it is to M20 and then outdoor space.
Good question to ask, how do you handle the safety of that?
I like it. So, the two parcels that are connected with there's the alleyway in between, right? The requirement was 1 acre. The two, and being they're adjacent, I think you can see it on the Alta survey, is 0.88 acres total. So,
I read 0.9, but whatever.
I'll take your number. Yeah, I just got new glasses yesterday,
that's
so as far as safety goes, with that back lot, it's one of the reasons that we're really interested in this property is because quality of life is of utmost importance to us. There's a lot of facilities out there, and I'm not gonna knock anybody, that residents get to sit inside all day and watch TV. Right? That's not our goal. We want people to live fullest life that they can. And that back lot allows that recreation area that you guys are talking about.
And you would develop it for that.
Correct. So right now, I can't predict what's gonna go down 10 years from now. In our plans, we don't have anything, any plans to put up any structures, but we talked about picnic tables and cornhole and horseshoes and just a small little park, right? That's dedicated to the residents, and that's where they can spend their time.
And so the front part, which is where M20 is, kind of like, that's basically parking and stuff like that. You're not gonna have a whole lot of people being recreating out there.
Correct, it's a parking lot, and
It's
it's
a
solid, it's actually asphalt right up to the front of the building. From curb to right up to the front of the building,
Yeah.
so.
I remember when it was Secretary of State. I've been
Yeah.
there frequently.
So, I don't think this is a huge concern for everybody, but there's really 4 fire exits off of the backside of that building. And, when we do some of our remodel, I'm sure they're not gonna all be, required from a fire escape perspective, cause we're gonna actually open up the building a little bit. Because remember, it's kinda almost 2 separate areas with two separate areas per, so it's got all of the access. So we have an opportunity to actually have a rear.
Okay, well, that's,
For residents only, not for public. The public would maintain the front commercial space.
okay, all right.
So are the residents gonna be able to leave when they want, or they're totally supervised?
So it depends on the contract that we have with the state or the county. But that's also governed, and I don't know if this is governed through Laura or if it's a separate agency, but, they're adults and they have the rights, and they're human beings. So, it's governed by community mental health. So we actually have to follow patient rights. And
Yes.
if they're capable of independent living to some extent, they absolutely have that right to walk and to
We
shop.
had one across the street from my house in a residential area, and
Yeah.
sometimes one of them tried to break into my house, so,
Right.
I mean, they did, I wasn't worried about it, but
So what we do is we work with multiple counties, we don't have to work with one county, right? And we contract residents, but what we try to do is work with those agencies to get a, population of residents which are compatible, shall I say? And if there's an outlier, within the county requirements of our contract, they may require another staff member. Because there is additional supervision, because there's someone that might hurt themselves, or you know what I mean, or have an accident.
more
So-
worried about the patient than,
Yeah,
or the
so
person in the care of
that
them.
gets handled with the contracting agency at the county level. And if we get a patient that needs, or I'm sorry, they're not patients, they're residents, that needs a little bit more supervision, they
Okay.
can require that we have an additional staff member on during
I
certain
know that's a
hours.
concern, it's a concern for a lot of people, but for this purpose, I'm not,
I would just, the area accommodating of the shall not be less than 1 acre. Is that going to be a problem for you're getting your license for that? Cause it's really not 1 acre. It's
That's
0.9.
our
Oh,
requirement.
that's our requirement.
That is not a Lara
Oh, that's
requirement.
not
That's-
okay, I just wanted to clarify.
That's our
Okay.
zoning
That's
requirement.
ours. Okay, gotcha.
I'm thinking one of the conditions, as I was reading through here, which makes sense, is a fencing
Yeah.
sufficient enough to.
That was the planning commission, when I watched the meeting, it seemed like
Yeah.
that was their contention too,
Yeah.
was a fence for
I would put
noise.
that in as a condition,
Yeah, on both sides.
yeah.
Cause there's that house that's right there
Oh,
in the
yeah.
parking lot with the window and you hate for something,
Yeah.
or to go through the window and.
Plus, I think if
Yeah,
you
I
were gonna
think
do it, I think the fence needs to be put in before they do construction.
I would think.
That way it can
Okay,
stop
on
some of
both
that,
sides.
also
Yeah.
noise
Yeah,
and
I would,
stuff.
I would think before anybody sets foot in it to live or whatever, yeah.
And point of just clarification for our own purposes, are you guys referring to, the north side and the south side
Yeah.
of the main property?
Yeah.
Not the
Yeah, the main
adjacent
property
property
along
to the east.
Between the alleyway and the.
So
Whatever.
the alley would be open and all that other stuff, it would just be
Yeah, the trail,
from a privacy perspective from the neighboring residents.
Yeah,
yes.
Sounds good.
that's really my only contention,
Yeah, that
everything
was
else,
nice.
it's
Everything
just
else is good?
Yeah, I'm
As
just
long as they're,
a
yeah,
nice,
Well, if we go,
sturdy,
quick- if
solid.
we go quickly but sufficiently
yeah.
through the, don't wanna go too quickly, don't wanna miss anything. Get to the right spot. Okay. The ordinance restriction on number 1, analysis, unreasonably prevents the owner from using the property for a permitted purpose. 4, the wording of the ordinance would have made it hard for the applicant to know about these restrictions. Must have been a really different ordinance. Ordinance restrictions were likely written as a protection for residential properties, not those within a commercial or mixed-use area. I do remember the 50 feet in another property we were involved in, but that was a few years ago. Against, the potential property owner could have looked for property that complied with ordinance requirements. That's true, but this seems to be a ideal spot for them. You can get through that. Can you get through that? Yes. I can get through that. The variance would do substantial justice to the applicant and possibly other property owners in the district, and a lesser relaxation of the regulation than that requested would not provide substantial relief to the property owner. 4, a lesser relaxation could include compromise to mitigate disturbances for the neighbors. I think that compromise is probably a fence. Against, the requested variance would require total relaxation of the regulations due to how close the structure is to the property line. Fencing may take care of that. The plight of number 3, the plight of the property owner is due to the unique circumstance of the property and not a general condition of the neighborhood. 4, the commercial zoning district is unique in that there is no side or rear setback requirements allowing for structures to be built right close to the property line. Against, the property is in a mixed-use area, and some consideration should be given to the impact and closeness of residential structures nearby. Refer to number 2, fencing, I think. If anybody has anything else, feel free to. The alleged practical difficulty has not been created by any person presently having an interest in the property. The wording of the ordinance, 4, the wording of the ordinance would have made it hard for the applicant to know about these restrictions before plans were created to establish the facility and structure has been located there for significant time. And against, which looks like one before, the applicant could have looked for property that fit the ordinance. A nice place to have a spot. I can get through that. 3 actions, we can approve it without any variance. Or we can approve it with a variance, well, conditions, I'm sorry, keep on saying variance, with conditions, or we can deny it.
I think we do the approval with the fencing.
Make sure you're talking.
Oh, sorry. I would like to make a motion to approve it with the fencing on the north and south side of the property.
Okay,
Per the requirements of what the fencing material.
like a maximum height, I mean, you could have a 2-foot fencing and that may not be.
Oh yeah, we'll do it.
I would
Whatever.
do, if you want to be specific, cause our fencing is not specific.
Okay,
for-
so what do you wanna say?
So I would do like a
6 foot.
6-foot fence,
Solid.
a solid 6-foot
Solid.
fence,
Yeah.
solid
Solid
material.
Yeah. That.
Go ahead and make a motion with your condition, cause you're thinking it through.
All right, I'd like to make the motion to approve with conditions in regard to a 6-foot solid fence of material that would be weatherproof or on the south side and the north side of the property.
Second.
Do we want to add that to that?
Nope, second it.
Did I hear a second?
Yep, second.
Roll call.
Nystrom,
Yes.
Lipnicki,
Yes.
Galler,
Yes.
Lemke.
Yes.
Yes. It's approved with conditions.
Please invite us to your open house when you do have it though, that'd be nice. Open to it, but yeah, thank you.
Okay, on to number 3. 321 Sanborn Avenue. Eric, I'm gonna mess this one up. Podell?
It's enough.
What? Is that right?
Odell,
All right.
correct. Another German name.
Okay. Non-use variance request to decrease the side setback requirements for accessory structures. Michelle?
Hold on. The applicant, the address is 321 Sanborn Avenue, and the applicant is seeking to vary from the side yard setback requirement of the zoning ordinance. The applicant built a structure not in accordance to the zoning ordinance and is seeking relief from meeting the side setback requirement. The applicant applied for a building permit in 2020 to build a carport. The zoning clearance permit, which you have in your packet, was issued for the structure to be 3 feet from the property line. The applicant built a lean-to to be approximately 25 inches from the property line. Staff shows no indication of the inspection being done by the city, although the property owner does indicate that there was an inspection. The county building inspector approved the structure in 2021 for building code. The city recently received a complaint. This complaint was related to a drainage issue and closeness of the structure, and we began to investigate. The property owner was notified of the violation and the inconsistencies of the zoning permit and building permit, and the applicant chose to move forward with a variance request to allow the structure to remain as built. Let me go over. You have my analysis. The recommendation, the applicant did not follow the submitted plans for the zoning clearance. Although the changing of the post, which was what would be required to be changed to meet the ordinance, because our ordinance does not have language on how much an overhang is permitted. So the post would be where we would measure to a structure. The changing of the post will not decrease the overhang amount or solve the drainage issue. The drainage issue becomes a personal issue between the two property owners. It's not something the city would be involved in. The applicant should be held to building to the specification of the approved site plan. So staff recommends the application be denied.
And the specification is at least 3 feet?
3 feet was what the zoning clearance permit was.
2 feet and 1 inch, 25 inches.
Correct.
Okay. The other question I had, is there a city inspector? We
We
have one that's,
So we have different roles in our department. We do have an inspector. I wasn't here in 2020, so I don't know exactly how they operated as far as doing inspections of zoning clearances. So for now, how we operate is we do a zoning clearance and it kicks us to do an inspection automatically once we issue that permit. Fences, I think we do them 6 months out. I don't remember how we do them for accessory structures, but we do inspections now. I not being here, I don't know how the city handled it.
so the question is, the permit was issued, so the county issues the permit?
The county issues the building permit.
Okay,
We issue a zoning permit.
correct. Okay, just double.
And the county person you said did come out?
The county person would come out, but the county is only responsible for
And they don't,
checking building code.
and they didn't communicate with you then in regards to this property?
I was
Back
weren't
then.
here. Whoever was here in-
I was at the county during the building permit, like,
Oh.
so I wasn't at the city at the time the zoning clearance was issued, so I don't know
What they do?
but I know from the county side, when they would issue building permits, they're not responsible for checking setbacks in the city limits because it's a zoning issue, and the city is responsible for checking zoning.
Okay.
Building zoning gets a little bit confusing.
Yeah, like everything else.
Mm-hmm.
We'll work through it. Any other questions for her? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, opportunity for the applicant to make a presentation.
Hello, Eric Podell, 321 Sanborn Avenue. Thank you for the opportunity to discuss with you. I've been in that house now over 41 years. We've always, except for the first winter, had a temporary structure on the driveway, i.e. one of those Menards cloth roof ones. After replacing them, how many times do you think we replaced it, Peggy? 12 different times? I said, it was time to do something different. So we looked at the things that you see on the side of the roads as you're traveling around. Those can be bought to any dimension you need to be built. At that time, no permit required. You just assemble it, set it up, and walk away. However, being that the house was built somewhere between 1903 and 1905, we decided to try to make things look a little bit more historically correct for the particular neighborhood. The French have a term called porte-foucault, something on that order. It's like a portico, except it's designed specifically for you to be under a roof when you get in and out of your carriage, and horse-drawn carriage. I have a true horse-drawn carriage garage in my backyard. So we thought, hey, it makes appropriate. Let's put up something that makes appropriate to the time period for the home and try to make things look a little nicer in the neighborhood. In August 11, 2020, I came to the city saying I'd like to build a more permanent structure. I talked to Paula Preby at that particular time, and she gave me this particular paperwork to fill out. At that time, I had no plans. I had just an idea in my head that this is what we wanted to do, but in order to get the process going, we filled out the paperwork and used the setback at 3 foot, thinking that's probably what we ended up doing. However, with all construction, things change. I never knew that I needed to resubmit things. That was my problem. So I go down to the county because I'm working between two different things. And the county says, build this, build this. You'll see in your particular notes where I built it and then had to make some modifications, do that. The edge of the driveway was purposely poured with more thickness and material to allow for the posts to do it. If the posts were moved in, I'd have to tear up the driveway and put footings and everything else and do whatever. When I finally got done with the second permit application with the county, they issued me this certificate of occupancy and use, and it's certified that the building structure is, Michelle talked about, that it was full compliance at that time, and that was with the 215 building code dated July 28, 2021. I came in to pay a bill, and that's when I was summoned by Mr. Gifford and Michelle here to say, hey, we've got a problem. And so I sat back with them, and that's when I first discovered that I thought I was correct and found out otherwise. The original issue was because of water drainage. I have a French drain in between the structures. However, in the meantime, I did put up a commercial gutter to direct the water completely away from the homes and into the street. So that was my only other addition that I have made since that time. Any questions for me?
Not you.
I do.
Go ahead.
I have two pictures.
Yeah, one is
So this picture here,
that was my example that I gave to the
this
county.
is not your house.
That is not my house. That's the example showing the post right on the edge of the concrete as I was going to.
So then you chose then not to put it at the edge, you put it on your concrete.
Yes, that post that you see right there
Yeah.
is part of my temporary shelters.
This
that I
one
had.
here.
That little white circular column there.
Okay.
That's part of that was part of the temporary structures. So the temporary structures were always literally on the property line.
So this grass area or this dirt area to the next house is your property?
Not completely.
So half of that dirt area is yours and half of it's the other?
3/4 is mine and
The other.
1/4 is the.
So who
property.
owns the fence then?
The fence is that, well,
This fence that's down here, I can see, who
the
owns
fence
that?
that you see there was put in by the previous owner of the property now. And they just stuck it in there. As you see, there looks like there's a little jog in the fence. The
Okay.
rear fence is actually mine.
So you
on the
guys
property
split
line.
this piece of dirt then, is what you're telling me?
Pardon me?
You split this piece of dirt?
Yes, we split that piece of dirt. Well, actually, it's now river rock and a French drain. It's been up for since whatever date that I completed the project. That's when I got signed off on it.
Now, did you physically see the person come and talk to you? Did you, or they just,
No,
so you never saw anybody come to your property or knock on your door or anything?
for the water issue or
For the finalized building inspection?
Oh, I had,
So that they talk
yeah,
about,
I
that's
had,
not really
who was the city assessor?
recorded.
City assessor came by with a wheel and a tape measure and measured it off at that time. And then, not too long after that, I'm not sure who it was another gal, I don't know if that was Paula or who that was, just took a gander around and says, yep, looks good, is basically what I remember. Of course, you remember this is a few years back.
So I
So-
just want to have things in writing. But-
So no one saw the 3 foot on one piece of paper and your 25 on another then, but no one saw that discrepancy and ever talked about
No, in
it?
fact, there's a map that was drawn up, not by me, I'm assuming it was somebody from the county that drew the map that showed a 3-foot setback. That is not my drawing. So I was really surprised to see that it showed a 3-foot setback. That confused me because that's not my handiwork. The handiwork you saw is my original drawing and then I added to where the exact posts are.
Yeah, I have two, received like 2 different drawings. Yeah, we received 2 different type ones, yeah.
Yeah, so this one is the original one I gave the county, this is the updated one showing where the posts are.
So you knew that it was 3 feet at the time?
No, I did not.
This is the one you said you just gave them? That says 3 feet on it. That's the one you just told me you said you gave them. That's the green one. It says 3 feet. And then I have one here that says 25 inches.
25 inches is the newest one. This one that showed the green marks in there,
Yeah.
again, is not mine. I did not add those green marks. Again, from the county that added those green marks.
Okay.
Thank you for allowing me to come up to see that.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, it's very
I just
confusing.
wanted to clarify,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
who
Yeah.
drew these and who marked
The
them
virtual
out.
one without the green marks is
Right.
mine.
Okay.
I don't know like who added the green
So
marks.
so it was always your intention, always to be 25 inches.
We're going with the intention to build it onto the edge of the concrete. And at the time when I filled this out, I wasn't 100% certain where the property line was. So I just filled out paperwork that was in the pre stages. So at the time then, we had to change the design.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, sorry, well, all those in favor who wants to speak, and let me rephrase that again, opportunity for those in favor to speak, any? Hearing none.
Okay.
Opportunity for those in opposition to speak.
There we go.
Hello, I'm at 405 Sanborn next to Eric, and I'm the homeowner, Abigail McFarland. And this is my licensed builder I brought with me.
I'm sorry?
This is my licensed builder I brought with me.
Gotcha. And your name is?
Hello, my name's Matt Consitis. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So I've observed this relationship, and I advise her not to be overly upset initially. She has experienced 4 major floodings. This is all documented. I don't think when the city approved his request that they could have imagined a house 35 feet away, taking those roofs worth of water, putting them on yet an even larger roof, and sending it into her house, but that's what's happening. And so, has nothing to do with him right now, it has to do with a major issue on her home. Her home has all of his water draining into it, right directly into it. So the walls are affected, the basement's affected. when they did the dirt and the silt sock that you see in there, they also did gravel. So this ancient home that she has is cobblestone foundation. They pulled the soil and mortar away from that, filled it with stone. So it's literally a creek coming off their home, and they're pissed about it. And there's night cameras and all kinds of stuff like this. And I just tell her, because she's a single mother, to not fight with this man. And it's not worth it. She's protected by you guys. You just need you to enforce the setback that is written right on the permit. It has nothing to do with 25 inches anywhere. It's so. Then on top of that, there is this eave, which if you don't regulate that, I guess, but I think it was an oversight initially, where had you imagined 40-foot width of roof, 40 feet away, add another 35 feet of roof, and get it all the way to her house.
Because it's kind of a lean-to
Yeah,
going down.
yeah,
As
'cause
the
they're
water's
joined.
going down without any eave
Yeah,
or anything
that
like that.
concrete that you
It's
see on the edge,
basically
that's on her
waterfall.
property. I'm
That
sorry.
dirt too, he mentioned that it was split, so I'm the new homeowner, I never split any dirt with him. I never split that, there was never a conversation of that, so that picture you see there,
So you own,
the house on the left is mine. Those posts that he
Yeah.
put there to make more of a garage, he referenced he had a 2-horse carriage, his new lean-to is like a 40-horse carriage. Those posts you see on my dirt are on my dirt, and those are his posts.
Yeah, and even if it was an accident, that would almost be understandable, but the proximity is the issue. So, like, I think she could get through a misunderstanding. There's not been an opportunity for that to work. And I keep telling her, you're home, you're alone, we'll just do it the legal way. I'm confident there's enough here to say, just move your post, get your concrete off her property. I would hope you'd have them fix the eave, but if you don't wanna do that, then we're probably gonna need, at least beyond this, access to her property on that side, which involves scaffolding and lifts and digging equipment. She needs a whole new foundation through there, it's gone.
I have a question. Has anyone surveyed your property now?
Yes, Mid-Michigan came
Okay.
last week, and
Okay.
so I can send that if you guys need that.
So that's been identified that this dirt that they're talking between the edge of this concrete in your house is your dirt? Is that what is it what they're surveyed? Or
So
not?
most of it is, 3/4 of it is not his, 3/4 of it is mine.
Okay. So the
Where
rocks,
that fence is shown there.
yeah, at the
It
bottom, yes.
meanders in and out of hers and his as it continues, but I would say the post is the edge, that's where the stake is, and it's a pin.
Which picture are you looking? Okay.
When you say post, you mean the temporary concrete like stamper that he's made from a post, not this post?
Which post are we
There's a
talking?
flag pinned here and one here and continuing down the lot line.
This post.
Yeah,
So those
Got it.
4x4s
The
or
small
whatever,
fence.
whatever those are, 6x6s, whatever, those posts those are the posts we're talking about, right? Okay,
These along the,
I'm sorry.
the ones that are
Yes.
embedded into
Yeah.
the
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
cement.
Not only that, and unrelated, their fencing continues another 12 feet beyond their back setback, which is
Okay.
not her
Okay,
concern, but
okay.
So the concrete is set on your property?
yeah,
It was poured on your property?
portions of it, yeah. And certainly within the 36 setback. From the
36
edge of
inches, or
property.
3 feet, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I think the eve was an oversight, but we still need help. I mean, her house is being destroyed.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
then
I'm
the
just hearing,
columns
I'm
and
just
the
hearing
whole
there's nothing
footprint
about the roof line.
Yeah, so how zoning ordinance are set up is they say say what setbacks are, and then they say what they allow to be encroached setbacks, which means to go into the setback area. Many ordinances say like that eaves can encroach setbacks, and they give like by like, but that eave can only be so big. 18 inches to 2 feet is the general, I would say. Our ordinance doesn't have that language. It just says that eaves are able to encroach setbacks. And it doesn't give me any kind of dimensions of how far they can encroach the setback or how big that eave can be. So I have no ability, because it's not written in an ordinance about how large that eave can be, to enforce any, like, how big that overhang or eave can be, because our ordinance doesn't specify it.
And
So
if
we
there's- If there's no ordinance, I don't think we can make one up.
So we could tell him he has to move his posts over, but that doesn't mean he has to take this off?
Correct. With how our ordinance is written, because for setbacks, we would measure to the edge of the structure, which is your post, and then we have language that eaves can encroach those setbacks. So that would mean the overhang would be allowed to encroach that 3 feet. Most, like I said, most ordinance have like a distance that they're allowed to
So even though
encroach.
Costa County building, like the county does has nothing about building structure,
The county won't look at zoning at all.
okay.
Okay.
I'd also like to add that while Eric had the cute idea to add gutters, there's a gutter system up which is even further closer to my house, and by gutters he's meaning he put a bowl and it dumps at rapid speeds. We have a video of a waterfall taking the water from his roof, which, cute idea, it's dumping onto the driveway, which is still not going down to the road. It's looks like Niagara Falls when it rains. So
You said you had a survey taken, or?
yes,
Is that part of this?
that was not submitted to you
Is that
guys.
something that we
I
can put in the
don't
record?
have a copy
Yeah,
of
'cause
that.
we're not at war yet, we're
I'm
here
not-
to
I'm
say.
I'm just
you
asking
know.
that, surveys kinda help, an
Exactly.
official survey kinda helps with looking at things, and
If
can
you'd
that be
like it, I
added to
can
the
send
record?
it.
May I say
something?
Not yet,
Okay.
I don't know if that can be added to the record or not, like her survey,
So if they would've done
submit it.
gutter,
Yeah, I don't have a copy. If she
Okay.
had a copy here, we could submit it and add it. It's,
I'm just asking.
She had a meets and bounds survey done,
yeah.
if that helps.
If you like, you want to table it and request a survey, that's something you can do, but
No, I get it, yeah, I got you, I understand.
I'm not sure adding it to the record after
Tonight.
you make a
Yeah,
decision.
no, I understand.
That might be helpful.
What's that?
It doesn't stop.
Go ahead,
You gotta speak into the mic.
yeah.
Sorry, really quick, while you're done with, I have a question about this,
Go ahead.
on the paperwork. On the paperwork from the city of Big Rapids, the zoning from Paula, it does specify on this paperwork, 3 feet. That I received, that in our packet. I just wanted to make sure,
I saw that.
that we're aware of that.
Yeah, there's already been a violation found,
Yeah.
so
And whoever filled this
now
obviously out,
the
and it's
violator
been
is
stamped.
saying, can I just keep it? And the neighbor's answer is, what in the world is going on?
Cause it was issued 8/11 of 2020 and expires 2/9 of 2022. So even if there was a violation or whoever wanted to bring that up, there was 2 years to correct it. It looks like that would be my opinion. So, but it does say on that side 3 feet on the paperwork. That was City of Big Rapids.
Does your new survey, does that roof of that lean-to go over the property line?
I could show it to you electronically.
Well, no, I'm just asking, like, is that on there, like, I'm just, mainly for you, like, is that gonna be a separate issue? Depending on what we do, if it comes back that his roof's over their property line, are there ordinances against going over a property line with your structure?
What you do, go ahead.
Some of it gets, some of it does get into our ordinance, if it's over the property line, there's probably language in our ordinance about
It seems like
that.
there's more,
But-
apparently now, more going on than what we're actually even talking about.
Yeah, but like the drainage issue and the drainage issue is a personal issue between two property owners. That's just how drainage works. The setback issue is the issue that the board is looking at.
So that's what I'm saying, if we were to say he had to move the post, but if his roof's over the line, like,
That,
is
so,
that gonna be a separate issue
so if
that's gonna
we
come
get-
back, or is that something,
so,
That's my
I wouldn't wanna make a decision and it gets, like,
yeah, your decision
like it
was,
approves his roof going over the property line.
your decision would stand for the post. If the survey comes back and shows that the overhang is over the property line, that's a different issue
Okay,
that we would address.
can I bring this back a little bit? Let's
Similar.
do one step at a time. Okay, let's deal with the posts. I think we got it, thank you, for now. We'll ask questions, and we're not in fact finding yet. So, let's hold that, okay? Because we still have one more to go too. Any written materials received? Just,
Any rebuttals?
well, oh no, I'm,
Other for their-
well, we got-
Any more?
opposition to speak, any written materials received, nothing like that? Yeah, no?
Staff, the two people that I've received conversations with have
Okay.
spoke.
So now there's a rebuttal to the applicant, to opposition. We had an opposition, you have a chance to rebut that.
Thank you. I'm at the end of 321 Sanborn. She's at the 400, whatever address it is. My back lot is deeper.
I'm sorry?
My back lot is deeper than hers because of the exchange of, way the lots offset.
Okay.
So what they're saying is a 15-foot difference. Now, I find it most interesting is with their survey, they missed my stake. The corner of my back corner fence property, when I rebuilt the fence, I found a survey stake. Still had tape on it. Probably doesn't anymore because of moisture and stuff. If you go from that stake out to the street of Sanborn, you will find what he's referring to as a zigzag. Nope. The only thing that zigzagged is a slight addition of the fence that was added years later. The roof is entirely, including the gutter, is entirely on my property line. So there's no overhang into her property.
We're talking about, you're talking about a fence, what fence are we talking about? What-
My backyard fence.
There's
That
also
is
one at the
okay,
bottom of
see,
the picture.
That backyard fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, this bottom of the picture, there's a fence
That's
there.
the fence, okay, I saw one thing there,
Yeah.
that's the fence.
They're looking at the front, they're looking at a front corner survey, which I'm gonna, I guess, have to pay to resurvey because they forgot about the 6-degree variance between true north and magnetic north. Back in those days, everything was made on magnetic north.
Okay.
That's a whole different problem, I understand. But,
Okay,
knowing where property lines are, that's where, quote, I
Okay.
guess I'm gonna have to do a survey because of dispute of the survey, so.
okay, thank you.
That's my rebuttal. Thank you.
Okay, the public hearing is closed, fact finding. And my question, I didn't even see the fence when you hear talk fence. I'm talking about from the post to the side of her house is supposed to be 3 feet.
No,
It's not
from
supposed
the
to be.
side
36
property
inches
line
From the side property line.
to
Right,
the
which is why
post.
I was asking about the property line, cause it seems to be, no one really, or we don't have anything before us that says, here's where it is, and here's
Like that-
exactly how far his fence is,
That's
or
what we were
his.
talking about, the dirt line, the
Yeah.
invisible dirt, like this line, like going down this dirt, like where is that?
Yeah, 'cause we're here talking
the
about is
dirt.
it 3 feet, and nobody
Right.
can decide where that,
Well, the invisible
at
line
least
is
for
this
us,
dirt.
we don't have it for us, where it says, this is where it is, and this is exactly how far those posts are.
There's, yeah, not a stake in this dirt saying, okay, this, and then go back 3 feet into the
The city did come out,
Sorry,
oh, I'm sorry.
And I'm just
That's
saying,
what we're
for me,
talking
I
about, yeah.
kinda need to know where the property line is if you're gonna be dealing with
if you're
it.
gonna talk about 3 feet, where do you start?
Cause then also, we got this one from whoever, this carpentry rafter thing, this another sheet of paper also says 3 feet.
Yeah, I've got about 3 different
Yeah.
things that don't make sense.
Right. So I would like to make the motion and a fact finding to get the survey that the 425 Sanborn
Okay,
resident would like to submit.
Okay, we're not
Oh,
gonna do
okay,
that motion.
alright, fine.
Yeah, any questions?
No,
Just a lot of listening.
I'm listening and you're answering the questions that I had.
All right, very good.
Thank you.
I believe this is what we can do. We need more facts. We can't make a decision based on what we don't know. And we're not gonna make it up.
Correct.
So, I don't think this is a motion, but I think we can table this until next time.
You
Or is it make a motion?
you actually make, so, you actually
do it
have
right.
to make a motion to postpone the public hearing, which is this, people say table, but
Yeah, I got it.
It's-
I understand.
it's postpone the public
About
hearing.
Robert's rules or whatever.
Yeah, it's Robert rule stuff. You can say tabled if you want. Postpone or table the decision and request exactly what you want to be provided by the petitioner.
That's what we do. Now you can make that motion.
Okay, I would like to make the motion to postpone with more fact-finding information in regards to the property line of, let's see, 321 Sanborn Avenue and the west side property remind me if you're right. 405 Sanborn Avenue, and have exactly show us where the property line is between the house and these posts, and the property line between 2 properties.
Requested by the petitioner.
Please request that by the petitioner, and yes, to the next.
That's your motion.
That's my motion.
Can I
Second.
clarify?
You
that
gotta
motion?
clarify something.
You want it indicated, do you want it surveyed, or do you just want it indicated?
Surveyed.
We want it surveyed on paper,
We need,
So, by
we need
professional.
what it is.
yes,
I can't sit here and say, oh, let's do this and not have it right.
right. Surveyed by professional company.
So that's the motion. You second it. Roll call. All right, yep, we're good.
Nystrom,
Yes.
Lipnicki,
Yes.
Galler,
Yes.
Lemke,
Yes.
Walton.
Yes.
So we will plan on postponing it until our next ZBA meeting, which would be the 28th, no, that's today, 28th of May. Is our next ZBA meeting, pertinent that we have a survey. If we don't have a survey at that time,
We'd have to postpone it.
we will have to postpone it again. I will redo public notice
Okay.
for everyone who received public notice this time.
And
Prior.
just so that both parties know, we're not judge, jury, and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
We're here to look at what we know.
Yeah.
And if we don't know everything, we need to find, we need to
Right.
find out what it is, so
We wanna be,
that's the reason
we
for
always
this.
wanna be fair to all parties.
Yeah, that's why I said, I don't
Yes.
think we're at war. I think there's
No,
some
no.
confusion.
You gotta-
We're not indicating that, no, we just wanna make sure, like, that's why I asked,
I don't wanna
yeah,
get anybody
yeah.
thinking that that's what we're doing or anything like that. I was an umpire for 10 years, and I'm looking at what does this look like? And it looks like that I don't know all the facts, and I need to get all the facts.
One thing in your last closing statement there about it, it is a little confusing on the word house versus property line. They're quite different things. So maybe just make sure the assignment is understood.
That's how it's written, right? It's for
Right,
find
about
the property
The
line.
property line,
Yeah, yeah. So, anyway, that's where we are. So, hope the other stuff work out. Try to be as neighborly as you can and work things out. But we'll deal with the posts, with the property line and stuff all next time. So
It doesn't make sense for her to make corrections until,
I, you know, we are where we are, so I don't wanna go,
Okay.
I don't wanna say anything out of school, if you will.
No.
So, okay, this one, postpone. Hang on to that. All right, last but not least, we have a public hearing on 226 North Third Avenue. Brian Rolls / Love Inc. Use variance request to allow an office and a gathering space for a nonprofit. And Michelle.
This address is, or the applicant Brian Rolls, who is representing Love Inc., is applying for a variance to use, a use variance at 226 North Third Avenue. The applicant is seeking to allow a use that is not permitted by right or by special use in the R2 zoning district. The applicant is seeking to use an existing building for an office and small public gathering space for a nonprofit. The applicant will not be making any significant changes to the current structure. Since the R2 district does not list an office or public gathering spaces permitted by right or special use, the applicant is required to go before the zoning board of appeals before it could potentially move into the property. One approach to reviewing use variances, because use variances are fairly unique, some cities don't allow them, but we do, is to review the existing land uses surrounding the property as well as the purpose of the zoning district, and also to review the list of permitted uses by rights and special uses to determine if any of those uses are similar to the proposed use. It is also important to determine impacts of the proposed use in comparison to the existing or potential uses of the surrounding properties in the neighborhood. In the R2 zoning district, the purpose is to establish higher density of residential development. It is not intended to permit commercial, industrial, or similar uses as unless authorized by the ordinance. That language is right out of the zoning ordinances. Permitted uses include the following: single and two family dwellings, licensed group child care home and child care center, churches, public, private, and parochial schools, public libraries, museums, and art galleries, fire stations and water towers, cemeteries, pools, public utility buildings, family child care home, adult foster care home, adult foster care small group home. And then special uses are hospitals, sanatoriums, clinics, nursing and rest homes, and charitable institutions for human care as well as home occupations. The existing structure on the property is a small neighborhood church. The church has recently joined with another church and is no longer operating out of that property. You have my analysis of the standards for approval. Staff's recommendation: while there is not likely to be a major impact on the property or surrounding properties for the office type use, there is some impact of adding office space to areas that are residential, reducing the potential for another housing unit. While churches are not residential, they do provide community atmospheres to neighborhoods. Some nonprofits, depending on their operation, do have the potential to create this atmosphere as well. Staff didn't really have a recommendation for this one. It's really dependent on how the nonprofit type office space use operates, on what the impact's gonna be.
Gotcha. Questions right now?
No, I'm good with Michelle.
This is not used as a church anymore, correct?
Correct.
Was it used for anything else after it was not a church?
Not that I'm aware of. I think it
It went from church to nothing to what they're trying to go right now.
that's my understanding, but if it did go to something else, it's not something else that I was aware of.
I'm just asking the question. I just wanted to see if there was anything. We've had so many things that are in between.
Yeah,
I want
no,
to make sure what's in between.
I,
Don't hear anything of in between.
yeah.
Is that I'll let you go for that one. Is that a correct statement? It was a church, nothing, and now you're doing what you're doing.
That's not correct.
That's not correct. It was used for something. Okay, we'll get to that. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
It happens. Okay, opportunity for the applicant to make a presentation.
Good evening. My name is Brian Rolls, and I'm the chairman for Love Inc. Mecosta County. We are a developing affiliate of Love Inc. National. And yes, we're looking to move into this property if we can. First thing I want to do, though, is clarify what Love Inc. isn't. Love Inc. is not a thrift store. Normally, whenever I talk to someone about Love Inc., the first thing they say, I love the thrift store, where's yours gonna be? Well, we're not a thrift store. Our mission is to mobilize churches to transform lives and communities in the name of Christ. At Love Inc., we organize Christian churches from all denominations. The calls that would have gone to churches come to us. Trained specialists answer calls. We listen to them, not just their current struggles, but their strengths, hopes, and dreams. We talk with them, we pray with them, and together we go to work putting them in charge of getting their lives back on track. All the time working through a network of churches on both their physical and spiritual needs. Our goal is to get the caller from survival mode to thriving with dignity. And it works. Love Inc. is new to Mecosta County, but it was founded in 1977 in Holland, Michigan. Love Inc. has grown to over 110 affiliates throughout North America, including Newaygo and Wexford Osceola counties. In 2025, working through 5,500 churches, Love Inc. has helped more than 250,000 people. So why are we interested in this location? Well, first of all, this location is an answer to prayers. During our development process, we were looking for an affordable, suitable location. And in 2025, we learned that the United Methodist Ministry of Mecosta County was interested in finding a Christian-based purpose for the 3rd Avenue property. We came to agreement to acquire the property. The property is in a great location for our mission and provides the space and meets the needs now and well into the future. Many of the churches in Mecosta County are small rural churches. This location allows us to combine the resources of these small congregations in an area close to a large segment of population in need. Together, we fill the gaps of services provided by government and other agencies with transformational ministries. We work with people on a long-term basis, providing mentoring, goal setting, life skills training, spiritual encouragement, and emotional support. Through these ministries, Love Inc. helps individuals and families in chronic need make lasting changes. Our impact on the neighborhood will be minimal. Contact with callers is made primarily through phone calls. When in-person meetings are necessary, they'll be done by appointment. Transformational ministry classes will be held at the 3rd Avenue location or at one of our partnering churches and will consist of 5 to 10 participants. Love Inc. will make every effort to be a good neighbor. And this is to answer the question that came up just a minute ago, but since 1983, this location has been home to the 3rd Avenue Soup Kitchen. Through volunteers from multiple area churches, meals are provided twice a week for those in need. This mission dovetails perfectly with the Love Inc. philosophy and given the opportunity, we will continue to support this beneficial mission. The property has an extensive history. The church was built 101 years ago from lumber salvaged from a previous church. Other than the ramp structure, the exterior looks nearly the same as pictures dating back to 1925. The building has been maintained over the years and is structurally sound. However, as with any older building, it needs some work. We will provide the needed maintenance while preserving the historic aesthetics of the property, such as the beautiful stained glass windows that are on it. We believe God has brought us to this point, and with your approval, we will serve God and Mecosta County through this location well into the future. And I just want to thank the board, and I'd also like to thank the Love Inc. Mecosta County supporters that you see here, who took the time out of their day to be here. Thank you. Any questions?
Anything right now? And I got.
Oh, I just had a quick question. So there won't be anyone staying there overnight then? It's just
No.
going to be during the day and different various programs that you'll be offering then?
Correct.
Thank you.
Good question.
You're good? Not for right now?
Okay.
Could be later. Opportunity for those in favor to speak. And I have a feeling there's a whole lot of people here that wants to speak.
Speak first.
So keep it short.
My name is Bill Stanek. I am not a city resident, but I've had a business in this town for 20 plus years. I owned, two businesses. I owned Living Water Christian Resource Center in town and operated that in the city. I have worked with most of the churches that Love Inc. will be working with. And even though this is not a church, it operates very similar to a church. And I just see the need for it here. I know the different churches that are involved in it, and it's just something that really would help our community. And they have the opportunity to keep a beautiful building, beautiful in this community. So I would just ask that you do allow this variance.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
I'll say anybody else, but go ahead. Yep, go ahead.
All right, I got some brochures if you want.
Yeah,
I just-
okay,
I'll leave them on the counter.
Yeah, I just need one for public records.
okay.
My name's Andy Seeger.
And before you ask, before you get started, when I was asking if this was used for anything else, was that the soup kitchen thing?
Yes.
Okay, that's
Okay.
Go ahead.
My name's Andy Seeger. I'm one of the co-directors for the Third Avenue Lunch Program, or Third Avenue Soup Kitchen. We've been there since 1983, not me, but a succession of people. Last year, we served 2,800 meals. Our guests are from Parkview. We have the homeless, and we have people that want to come in just to talk. So we were serving twice a week. The church shut down on October 26th, but we ran our program until Valentine's Day, because of a pending sale, we were asked to shut down. We have our food service license, we have our food service manager. So what it will look like after Love Inc. takes over, we may have to reimagine. But we're prepared to offer hospitality to that part of town. You've got the homeless population, you've got Parkview, we've got Gary, we've got Doug, we've got Phyllis, they come over on their walkers. So we have a guest list, we also have a cooks list. We have 7 crews from across the community. That covers the community lunch program in short. But it's always been, when is a church not a church? It's always been active. AA's been meeting there 3 to 5 days a week. We have music programs, and every summer they had a community picnic. And then there were probably some other uses also. So the building has already been a hospitality magnet for that part of town. That's it.
Thank you.
Anybody else wants to speak in favor?
My name's Patrick Shea. I'm the senior pastor at Trinity Fellowship Evangelical Free Church here in Big Rapids. For the last 8 years before coming back to Big Rapids here last October, I was serving as pastor at our location in Newaygo. And so I had a lot of relationship with Love Inc. In Newaygo County, and just saw the amazing impact that Love Inc. had on the community, the county as a whole, and that location. Not only for the people they served, but for the volunteers that were a part of that ministry and the partnership with the churches. It is a tremendous success and a big light in Newaygo County, and so I'm just in full support of Love in the Name of Christ here in Mecosta County. I'm excited to be back, and that Love Inc. is coming with me, or at least I hope and pray. So just a strong supporter of it, and would love to see it find a home, a physical location.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
This is really important.
State your name.
We have worked so hard.
Okay, get your name first.
Yes, Chuck Bonnie.
Okay.
And my wife Rachel over there, the good-looking one. Well, they're all good looking. But we've worked so hard at bringing Love into Mecosta County. And many of us have put our lives on hold for a year developing. They said it would take 3 to 6 years to develop Love Inc. in a county. And I think we'll do it in a year and a half. We're really moving, but we need a home right now. We're ready to go, and this building's perfect, and I hope that you will allow us to move into that building. Thank you.
Thank you.
We could probably get a whole lot of other people, but I don't know if we can do this. I don't even know if it's the right thing. You can speak if you certainly want. Those in favor, just raise your hands. That's everybody. But maybe I can't do that, but if there's anybody else.
There's a way, so you can ask if anyone has any new information that hasn't been provided to
Okay.
the board.
I want to do it the right way.
So,
Is there any new information that hasn't been provided to the board and you want to speak? I have one. Go ahead. Come on forward. This is in favor so far.
Now, I checked into what this Love Inc. When I first heard this, it's like with the homeless crisis, what's going on, where I came from in Pontiac, they had a right across from the church, put a shelter, and they turned it into Club Clutch because the church just walked away. They said, so I get a little bit nervous with that. Right next to the school, we have the homeless community has about a 70% mental health issue, and I just want to make sure, because you're putting all this different stuff on the neighborhood. I just want to make sure, I'm not against. I've heard great stuff. I've talked to people from other communities and stuff like that, but I just want to make sure that we have the safeguards in place and stuff like that. Because I was even went to that church some. And stuff. I know the church and everything like that, but, I just want to make sure we're, making sure all the safeguards. I mean, good intentions are one thing, but, I just want to make sure we're not going to have some problems. That's
I'm not sure, were you in favor of this, or is this an opposition to it?
Well, it's kind of like just giving you.
I'm just asking.
I'm on the fence on it, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But, so I'll put it to the affirmative, but
Okay.
I just want to make sure that the stuff is in place to make sure that, because you got a school right next, right across the thing is a playground. So that's all I'm, trying to let you, because you have at 3:00, like I said, you're almost back to Washington Street.
Yep.
With the traffic and stuff like that. So all I want, I'm not trying to. It's a good intentions and stuff like that. I just want to make sure we're doing it right.
Okay. I know you said Pontiac, my dad grew up in Pontiac, Pontiac is not Big Rapids. Just so you know.
I realize it. It's a great place to be from and heavy on the from.
There you go. So there you go. No, and I didn't mean any disrespect.
No, that's fine. I just, I'm trying to just, so I put that out
Gotcha.
there so that we know to kind of keep an eye, cause
Yep, we're good.
I've heard a lot of stuff going on and, I'm not gonna sit there and put it all out here, but anyways.
Yep, thank you.
Hello, my name's John Grace. I'm the vice chair of our group, Love Inc. of Mecosta County. I'm a former chair of the Love Inc. In Newaygo County. Graduate of Ferris State, class of 09, College of Pharmacy. I appreciate your comments. I think he helps us make our point. I took a call yesterday from a gal who was calling the number attached to our Facebook page looking for housing. She was struggling. Currently on the property, there's a shed that, I don't know its status right now, but I know there have been at some point people sleeping in it. I don't think you can call it living in it. Our hope is to address the need that he's describing. As Brian talked about our transformational ministries, one of the terms that we put on it is a gap ministries. Our gap ministries are really to assess the network of support that's available in a community and then find where there's still a gap. Where's it missing? What else is needed here? And then go develop that. We're not trying to compete with any food stores, food programs, resale stores, things like that. We have them, they're great, and we want to help send people or connect them to those. Our main goal is to mobilize the churches to fit those gaps that are not being addressed. And I think his comments are on point. This community, specifically that area, there is a need. And I believe that the Love Inc. mission, the way we work together with churches to mobilize their members to meet those needs, is really going to help our goal of giving a hand up and not just a hand out. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Is there anybody else who would like to speak and give new information? Otherwise, is there anybody in opposition that wants to speak? Hearing none. And so you can't rebut if there's nothing in opposition, so I guess we're good for that. The public hearing portion is closed and now into fact finding.
I have a question.
Ask the question.
I'm sorry, I'm asking all the questions tonight here.
Oh, that's great, I appreciate it.
In just reviewing their notes and stuff, and asking him about if they're staying overnight, I was just concerned now that the person is brought to attention regardless of the demographic area. Are they, my question would be, is if they're gonna be open 24/7?
No.
I guess. Is there, are there any particular hours? I didn't see that in the, hours of operation, I guess. So that would.
Sounds like it's almost an on-call
Okay.
or an on-need basis. Is that a kind of a fair statement to say?
Yes,
I mean, my dad was a minister. He'd get calls at 2:00 in the morning. So stuff happens.
well, it's not quite that
But
drastic.
it's not like that thing.
It's, we'll have our, executive director and intake specialist there during regular, office hours, let's say. Then we will have, transitional, ministries, classes, for people. And those could be during the day, they could also be in the evening, but you won't see anything after 9 o'clock type
Okay.
thing.
All right. You were gonna say something. Are you good?
I'm good.
Okay.
Because I know they're installing the security cameras. Is someone gonna be monitoring those, I guess, for the safety of that building?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question, Michelle. The variance we're giving them, like with the daycare one, if they switched it, they lost the variance.
So
What are we potentially opening up this neighborhood to if we do this variance?
Before you ask, the variance is for office space and meeting space. Is that correct?
yeah, so variance is for the use, which is office space and meeting space. So that would run with the property.
That's what I'm saying, like, so if they decide to sell us down the road, there could be like a law firm,
There
construction
could be
company.
another office / meeting space.
It's pretty much turning it into a
Yeah.
commercial.
You can't,
That's what I'm saying, we're turning this into like basically a commercial lot.
Well, R2
no.
though, you can do, R2 is
R2.
huge,
It's R2.
it's R2.
No, I'm talking about with the variance.
With the variance,
We're saying you can put an office in there.
yeah,
We're
so
turning it into
Yeah.
a commercial lot.
Go back to this. This used to be a church, right?
Yes.
Was there an office there?
Yes.
There was a meeting place there.
yeah,
Yes.
so
There was one there already.
Right, no, that's what I'm saying though, is that a church is allowed. We're basically saying you can have an office, we're turning it into a commercial lot, basically.
yeah, so churches are kind of unique in zoning as, they have their state and federal law about religious institutions and how you can zone them.
Yes.
And how you can regulate them. And it's basically that if you're allowing a place of public assembly, what it boils down to, I mean, there's lots of nuances in it, but what it basically boils down to is if you're allowing places of public assembly, you also have to allow churches, because that's what they're considered as a similar use.
Okay,
But the variance runs with the property.
Yeah.
So you're approving, you're not approving the business.
correct. No,
You're
and I get that.
approving an office space with meeting space.
Correct. Let me ask this question to, I'm sorry, your name?
Brian.
Brett, okay. When we were listening to the case, this is just, maybe this mindset of mine. When you went to the special uses within the R2 district are hospitals, sanatoriums, clinics, nursing, rest homes, and charitable institutions for human care, correct? This is a charitable institution, correct?
Yeah, but it's not for human care.
Is
If
it?
you look for our definition of
Yeah,
what
it
that
has to be
is,
like, they have to have beds.
that's more like,
That's
different.
Charitable institutions for human care kind of means.
Well,
Yeah,
it
but
says
in the ordinance, they get more specific about how it has to
Yeah.
be like actual taking care of somebody on
Yeah, cause it says and home.
You know, it's hard
Similar.
it's hard to
Wait.
differentiate between physical care and spiritual
Well,
care.
you get to,
that's
you
why it's
get
clarified in the
to,
actual
you don't get to
ordinance.
make that decision.
Sorry?
Because you don't get to make that decision, because
You're-
that's
we're-
I'm just
defined.
asking.
Right, that section's just a
Institute-
broad overview of what the ordinance has like conditions to say,
Well, that's why
to
I'm
meet
doing
that.
that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Institutions for human care, is an organization whose purpose is to further public health and welfare and the buildings used by such an establishment. I think it's a stretch, and I think there's legal
That's why I had
legal
asked if they were doing it
backing
overnight.
to say,
Yeah, right.
to say that religious institutions and nonprofit operations are an institution for human care.
Well, some days I'm willing to take that stretch.
And that's why I was asking my question.
Now, you can say that it could be like similar to that use, but I think saying
say
that it is
similar.
that use is not okay.
Okay, well, we just said similar to that use. I'll live with that.
Well, then that's why I'm asking Michelle, like, if we approve this, like, what can be put on there if they were to sell it?
Conditions, you mean? What
Well,
conditions?
Isn't that
My
future?
understanding of what we're approving is basically turning that lot into like a commercial lot.
C3?
Well, you don't
That's what I'm asking,
change
trying to
it
get
to a zoning
clarification.
district, you change
what?
it to the use that you are allowing is offices and public meeting space.
So any business could potentially down the road,
Any business that does offices and public meeting spaces would be permitted in that property.
and that's what I was asking, and then is there a way to
Limit
corral
that.
that? By using the human care
There's
type,
not.
like, no, type
You're
language?
you're walking on really dangerous legal lines
Well, that's
to
fine.
try to limit that. Because what you're saying is, well, this business, I mean, I know they're a nonprofit, but they're a business.
That's halfway there.
Yeah, they're a business and they have 2 offices and public meeting space. And you're saying, well, this business that has that is okay, but this business that has that is not, and that's not legal.
What?
So you can't, that's why a lot of places don't allow use variances, because you have to base it, as much as you want to base it on what they're doing, you have to base it on the use of the property, which is office and public assembly.
Yeah, that's why I was just wanting clarification as to what we're actually approving.
Questions? More questions? More discussion?
You can set limitations like hours. Those are like considered reasonable in limitations in zoning.
Yeah, that was why I was asking, so that,
You can,
the people would not just be hanging around or just wanting to have a place to crash for the evening,
Oh, yeah.
because they know it's a church and they take people in, which is a great thing. But in this particular type, because of all the residential and, you know, things like that, I think we should do something if we chose to, you know, but they are too, because it's still R2,
No, I get that.
yeah.
As a church, I don't know what the population or the size of the church was. Anybody have an idea of what normally would be?
About 100.
About 100?
Max.
Are you expecting 100 people show up every day?
Absolutely not.
Are you expecting 50 people show up every day?
What was your average lunch serving when you did the soup kitchen?
Average 30.
And that was an everyday thing, or that just
Wednesday and
Wednesdays?
Saturday.
Wednesdays and Saturdays?
But somehow we need to be able to maintain a food license and food serving capability, and that, I'm not sure that falls
That's
under.
not, that's not our.
us, that
that's
would
not
be
our-
your
that's
decision
not
with
our
Love
issue.
Inc. Yeah, that would be with, however you,
Love Inc. would
that
have.
would be your
That'd be-
contract with
that would
them.
be allowed
Yeah,
under the
that's,
office.
yeah, that's
designated.
not our issue.
well, cause it's a public assembly. It's office and public assembly.
Okay.
Okay.
But this, changing this office thing, would that pretty much all on its own put that they can't have people overnight and that kind of stuff in there?
You can stipulate that.
You could stipulate it, I mean, public,
That's what I was asking if the,
Use-
what we're turning, like,
yeah,
what we're
the
approving.
use
is
of
public
offices
automatically
and
or-
public assembly would not include overnight stay.
Do you anticipate any
Well,
down the
like,
future,
no.
even the one in Newaygo,
I don't mind to do that.
and maybe that's not a good comparison,
Yeah, no.
that anybody stays overnight?
No, not in that facility, no.
So you don't,
As Love Inc., no one stays overnight.
so you don't do like camps or like, you know, weekend events or invite other churches over to have a big blow up, you know, like outdoor picnic or like with the blow ups and things like that and.
No, I could see us maybe doing
No,
like.
I don't know what,
That-
I don't know what
No, I'm
other,
saying that, I haven't,
yeah.
I understand what they're saying.
Yeah. I just wanna make sure
understand your
we,
question.
yeah, like if they have like big festivals, like, you know, a Bible study or
Yeah.
whatever, like, you know, like the whole neighborhood, you know.
A public meeting space.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
then
that's what you
doesn't
would
sound like
have as a
they're gonna have
public meeting.
Yeah, yeah,
You could have a, you know, a big barbecue or welcome summer fester or something like that.
but even 100 people showed up for Sunday, so.
Well, no, I get, I'm just, because it's R2 and it's so close to everyone, I just do wanna clarify, that's all.
Oh, yeah.
What do you
Speaking
want?
of that, I mean, obviously there was parking around there when it was a church. Parking hasn't changed, right? As far as you know.
It's the same as it always has been.
And there's not gonna be, you're probably not gonna have, like say, 100 people or 30 people show up with cars. They have a few, and people riding to it, whatever, okay.
And then there's a sign, I know it's not part of our, but is there a sign requirement, Michelle, that they have to meet also? And that's regardless of their property notes of what they're doing? Is that there, is that?
We do have,
Sir.
we do have some sign rules that apply to the R2 district for uses that are permitted. So it just depends on what kind of sign, like.
Yeah, I mean, that's.
Well, no, they just talked about that lessons. I was just making sure on the R2, it wasn't gonna be like a, you know, for their requirement, they need to go through the city is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
We are aware of that requirement.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright,
so
good.
there are, I think it's a 12.
I was just reading all their little checklists that we received, that's all.
Gotcha, no, you're good, you're good.
They're pretty minimal because they are written specifically for
okay.
residential districts.
And I've seen those. Wanna go through the analysis?
Sure.
Let's go through the analysis. The property could not be reasonably, number one, the property could not be reasonably used for the purpose permitted in that zone. And 4, the property does have some uniqueness for the area as church structures require remodels to convert to residential uses. Like I said, they're gonna do some inside, you're not changing the footprint, no, nothing like that. The R2 district has limited uses listed as mainly is seen as a residential district, although nonprofit offices could be considered similar, there we go, similar to the office operations of religious institutions. Love Inc. is a charitable contribution, and they do similar things.
That too.
Okay, did I say something that, okay, we're good? And so there could be office space there for that kind of a thing, in my mind, the way I'm looking at it. Okay, if we use similar operations. Anybody disagree?
No, we're good.
Disagree with me if you want, I'm good. That the appeal results, number 2, the appeal results from unique circumstances peculiar to the property and not from general neighborhood conditions. 4, the structure on the property and its use is unique to the neighborhood. I would say that's a true case, unless there's somebody else that's living in a church. Against, the openness of the structure could allow for the remodel of the structure into a single family or 2-family house. I saw the picture of a church, yeah, I suppose, but that's not what they're asking for, that's not what we're using it, and I don't think that's a issue, because I know about Love Inc. and I know all these.
Yeah, it sounds like they're removing all the pews and stuff to do the multi-purpose room from what I'm reading.
That's what it said.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
one big room.
yeah. Number 3, that the use requested by variances would not alter the basic character of the area. 4, the applicant claims that they will not be making significant changes. Not only they claim, they said so, to the appearance of the current structure, and that the use of the property will be minimal except for office and a few public gathering opportunities. Against, increased traffic could be expected in addition to any disturbances. Have you, what are we talking about increased traffic?
That's,
Is there
yeah.
minimal at best?
Will not be anywhere near what the church had brought in at 100 people.
They're having
Like I mentioned,
anything where you'd have a
all of our
professional
contacts
building.
are by phone.
Okay,
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of space around it.
there's a lot of space. And the few public gatherings are just few.
Smaller meetings for
3, 4,
ministries.
5, whatever, okay. Number 4, that the alleged hardship has not been created by any person presently having interest in the property. 4, the applicant is not responsible for how the structure was previously used. Well, that's true. Against, the applicant, just like the other one, the applicant could look for other properties that are zoned correctly to operate an office for a nonprofit instead of residential property. Sure, they could have, but it seems to be, there's certain people I'm never gonna argue with, and that was already. Yeah, I can get through that. I can get through number 4. So, and again, when you read it, some nonprofit do have potential to create this atmosphere. When you read the recommendation, while it's not likely to be a major impact on the property, the staff is recognizing that. Not a major impact on the property or surrounding properties for the office type use. There is some impact of adding office space to areas that are residential, reducing the potential for another housing unit. True, we talked through that. While churches are not residential, they do provide community atmosphere to neighborhoods, and some nonprofits do have the potential to create the atmosphere as well in a similar style.
Staff just wants the board, I just want to reiterate that I have an opinion of how you should vote. I want to reiterate that you're approving a use of office space and public gathering space.
Correct.
So if Love Inc. in 15 years needs bigger, more space, the another office position, another office, not nonprofit, any kind of office would be permitted to go on that. I just wanna make sure you have that understanding.
Yeah, that's,
No, I do,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking a second. There was a question that was there a little bit. Of all the Love Inc., for lack of a better word, businesses, how many have gone out of business? Anybody?
Affiliates, how many have gone out of business?
Or decided to change their
Disband.
thing, disband, go on, do something else?
I don't know,
That's
but I know that Love Inc. is growing consistently.
just a question.
Yeah, my concern wouldn't necessarily be going out of
That's
business,
not-
it's more like we outgrow.
Okay, I get it,
would our,
but
if we approved it,
outgrowing,
would it allow them to,
Expand.
like,
So
build?
they're limited, I think they have three, they're limited to whatever their application said for office space.
So they wouldn't be able to make the building bigger?
They wouldn't be able to make, no, they're limited
that's.
To the existing footprint.
to the existing footprint for
You
space.
don't have to put anything in there, that's just given.
Yeah, the
They would have,
existing
they would have to
footprint.
come to us again, or the city, that they say we wanna
Yeah, so they would have
structurally make this bigger.
yeah, if they wanted to do like an addition, or if anyone wanted to do an addition on the
Yeah.
building, it would have to go through site plan review with the planning commission and a variance
Right,
with your, because
Yeah, I mean, that whole like office building in the neighborhood is the only thing I'm hung up on a little bit.
Yeah.
But if they can't change it from looking like a
Yeah.
church, most people won't.
yeah, I don't think they want to, they're gonna keep stained glass.
Yeah. Well, no, they also
Another
talk
go for
about,
them selling it too, right? If they
Yeah.
sold it, somebody couldn't come knock it down and put up an office, they'd have,
correct, yeah, if the building were removed and they wanted to put office space in, they would still have to go through
they have to
process.
pretty much,
to do all
only
this.
that building, the way it is, can be used as an office. So we'd have to buy
That's
it
what
from
we
the
say.
church,
Yeah.
an old church as an office. That was my only
Working through it,
concern.
you're working through it.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm,
Okay, we're good.
I'm good on, I'm
Yeah,
good
yeah.
on all of it,
Yeah,
except for, I just wanted to know what we're doing with
I understand.
putting an
I
office
got
in
you.
the neighborhood.
do you wanna
Yeah.
have your part of your conditions of hours, so that it
No,
will
cause,
limit it like to the future for yourself, Jeff?
I mean, I have a feeling they're gonna have a regular, kind of normal business hours within the scope
It
of
doesn't become
what
24/7.
Love Inc. does.
well, I'm not even concerned about that as I am.
Okay.
In the neighborhoods, someone comes in and puts in like law offices or something, or any construction company.
Yeah.
And
And,
putting hours on it would be the normal
Okay.
working hours anyway, so
Okay.
we'd stop
Yeah.
that.
So make sure you're,
Oh, I'm good with
those
it.
are, that they are too part of it.
Yeah.
yeah. So we have three places, or three things. Approval. Can approve it with no conditions, or no, yeah, no conditions. Or we can approve it with conditions, or we can deny it.
I motion we approve it.
I second.
Second,
Wait a minute.
Oh,
Okay, read the
oh,
motion.
sorry.
Read the motion.
Excuse
So
me.
you're saying you approve the motion. I move that the use variance application for a 226 North Third Avenue be approved to allow office space and gathering space for nonprofit. The application meets the standards in section 13.5 and 13.7 of the zoning ordinance.
So moved.
That's what you, I
Yep.
guess I just made that up. So, and she just seconded it.
Okay. Alright,
You ready? Got a roll call.
Nystrom,
Yes.
Mickey,
Yes.
Galler,
yes.
Lemke.
Yes.
Walton.
Yes. Been approved.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Amen.
Excuse me, I'd just like to say, if any of you want to stop by and take a look for yourself, so you have a better understanding of what's going on.
I did.
Try to look better pictures next time, but feel free to stop by.
Good job. Appreciate you.
And we are.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Well, that was Roosevelt. Yeah, he didn't start with it. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I was trying to.